You can be fully committed to someone and still feel completely unseen, not because love is missing, but because it's being delivered in a way the other person can't feel. That's where most relationships quietly break. Not in betrayal, but in misunderstanding. Both people trying, both people frustrated, both people thinking, why is this not working? Because in the process of trying to be understood, most people only show what makes sense to them. They don't translate. They project. You give what would work on you, and expect it to land the same way, and expect it to be enough. It doesn't. So effort increases. But connection doesn't, and frustration grows with it. That's the loop. Let's make it clear. Some people need verbal reassurance. Not hints, not assumptions. Clear acknowledgement. They need to hear it. I see you. I appreciate you. Without that, they feel invisible. Even when you think you're showing up, you can do everything else right. But silence feels like absence to them. So if this is your partner, speak it. Consistently. Not occasionally. Not just when things are perfect, but especially when they're not. Others need tangible effort, practical support, help that reduces pressure. For them, love looks like action. You stepping in, handling something, making their life lighter. If they're overwhelmed, and you respond with words, it doesn't register. Because what they needed was relief, not reassurance. So notice what weighs on them, and remove it when you can. That's how they feel cared for. Then there are those who value thoughtful gestures. Not expensive, intentional. You remembered something small. You noticed a detail. You acted on it. That tells them they exist in your mind, even when they're not present. Without that, they feel forgotten, even when nothing is technically wrong. So listen carefully. Pick up on what they mention casually, and bring it back later. That's how it reaches them. Some people need focused attention, not just proximity, presence, undivided attention, eye contact, real engagement. You being there, fully. Because being physically close, without mental presence, feels like distance, even when you're right next to them. So when they speak, pause everything. Listen to understand, not to respond. That's what creates connection for them. And then, physical closeness. Simple contact. Touch that reassures. Not necessarily intense, just consistent. For them, that's safety. That's grounding. Without it, they feel disconnected, even in a good relationship, and don't always know how to explain it. So initiate it. Naturally, regularly, not just when it's convenient for you. Now here's the part most people miss. You can understand all of this and still get it wrong. Because knowledge doesn't change instinct. Your instinct will always pull you back to what feels natural to you. That's why this requires intention, not assumption. You have to ask, clearly, what makes you feel cared for? And then actually listen, without filtering it through your own preference. Because the goal isn't to be right, it's to be effective. And that means adjusting, even when it feels unfamiliar, even when it's not how you naturally express. Because your comfort is not the measure of connection. Their experience is. And here's the truth. Most people aren't failing to love. They're failing to translate, giving in a language they understand, while their partner is waiting in a completely different one. So both feel ignored, both feel unappreciated, and both slowly disconnect, while still trying. But once you recognize it, you can change it. Because now, you stop asking, am I doing enough? And start asking, am I doing what actually reaches them? That shift changes everything. Subscribe to LoveLens.